when it comes down to it, what is a form of sales sabotage that salespeople create for themselves consistently? I'm Scott Sylvan Bell. I'm coming to you live from Orlando, Florida on a perfect day to talk about sales and a perfect day to talk about a form of sales sabotage. So there's this group of guys that I work with and I meet with them weekly and we're going over sales processes, and the guy raises his hand and he's kind of got an edge and he's a little bit irritated, and he's like, "Hey, Scott, I've been working with you for a while. When are you going to give us new stuff? I want new content. I want new things to go over." I'm like, "All right, let's go through some of the processes that I teach. Have you mastered this?" "Nah, kind of." "Have you mastered this?" Kind of." "Have you mastered this?" I gave him like 3 different things. "Have you mastered any of those?" "No." I'm like, "Hey, look, you know what? I'm more than willing to give you new content. I'm more than willing to give you new training, but you have to master the stuff in an order. And it doesn't matter who trained you. Everybody's going to have a different process. In the United States, there's roughly 10,000 sales trainers, and everybody's got their own secret sauce. They got their own formula. They got their own way. And when it comes down to it, most of those processes are going to work. Some of them are going to take longer than others, but most of the time, most processes work. But I see this happen a lot where salespeople in just about every industry, they want new stuff. And what it comes down to is they've matched the area of their comfort zone. They're matched as far as they're going to get in their comfort, and they're like, "You know what? I've implemented 75% of it and it didn't work for me. I want something brand new." I'm like, "Well, there's 25% more to go." "Yeah, but it didn't really work for me." I'm like, "Well, time out. How can you say that you only implemented 75% and the process didn't work for you?" "Well, and then this is where the excuses and the justifications start, and this is what happened with the sales guy. And I said, "Look, I'm more than willing to teach you how to do more things. I'm more than willing to show you how to do more things, but you got to prove to me that you've mastered step 1, 2, and 3 first," and he couldn't, right? So I want to let you know that, if you're a sales manager and you're watching this, if you're a salesperson, you're watching this, you're going to get the same answer from me. You have to be willing to step outside of your comfort zone. You have to be willing to say, "Hey, look, I'm going to try this process. I'm going to put it to use 20, 30 times and see what happens." Now, I will let you know that when I ride with salespeople, they don't do a process enough. They don't try things enough. In their mind, they think 1 or 2 times, 1 or 2 goes is enough for them to have enough issues or enough processes where they can learn it. And really what it comes down to, I'm going to give you the magic number. The magic number is roughly, depending upon the person, between 20 and 40 times. Because there's going to be a point where you're comfortable, you're calm, you've got your vocal pitch and tone down, you've got your body language, and everything just rolls smooth. But if you're thinking that you're going to go into a sales call after you learn a process and try it 1, 2, or 3 times and say, "Look, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to close massive deals and I'm going to be a closer," that's not how it is. You see people who are closers consistently practice stuff over and over and over again. I got to let you know, in my car, I have a voice recorder. In my work car, I have a voice recorder. In my travel bag, I've got a voice recorder. I've got 4 voice recorders that I know of that are they're all the same. They're a Sony ICDX 560 Black, right? Because they're a thumb drive. I carry them everywhere that I go because I'm constantly trying to perfect my message. And if there was a time where it's like, "Oh, you know what? I'm only going to try it 1 or 2 times. It doesn't work." Now, I live in Sacramento, and to drive to Monterey Bay, the south of San Francisco, takes about 3.5 hours. And one time I just got in my car and I grabbed my headset, right? It was a voice recorder hooked up to it, and for 3.5 hours, it took me 3.5 hours to perfect a message. If I was like everybody else, I would have just looked around and said, "Hey, look, I tried it 3 times, I'm good." Huge mistake. It's self-sabotage. You need enough goes to get good at it. You look at what professional athletes do to get good at shooting a basketball, throwing a football, sliding a puck across the ice, throwing a baseball. You pick any sport, rugby, right? You think they give up after 1, 2, or 3 times? No, they've got coaches with them. They try it over and over and over again. They're sweating. They get their clothes dirty, right? But most salespeople are lazy and they don't want to do the work that's necessary to become a closer. They don't. They say they do. They say, "Hey, I want to be a closer and I want to brag about it," but that's 4% of the entire populations of the sales world. The top 1% of the performers, I will let you know, I've worked with some really good performers, top of the industry. They are willing to do whatever it takes. Okay, so long story short, you want to be a closer, you're going to have to implement and stop trying to move. I'm going to skip chapters in a book and understand it. No, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way in sales. It doesn't work that way in anything. You're going to have to put in the work and effort. You're going to have to step outside of your comfort zone, and you're going to have to do things that other salespeople don't want to do. And I'm not talking ethical. I'm talking you're going to have to put in the work and effort. My friend Chris, I had met with Chris every single day for 3 years on my own time at 6 o'clock in the morning. And this guy was the best in the industry. Top guy in the industry for 8 years, because we would practice the first 4 minutes of a sales call. So when we were doing sales, everybody else was knocking on the door and they were practicing on their first call. He was good to go and I was good to go. Okay? So you're going to have to do something. You're going to have to step outside your comfort zone. You're going to have to pay people on your own, but you have to implement. If you're asking, like, recipes go in order. There's a ton of things that go in order. But if you keep asking for the training out of order because you're bored, it's not because you're bored. It's because you're uncomfortable and you're scared of rejection and you're scared that somebody's going to tell you no, or you don't like the process because you don't like the way that it sounds. It's the way that it is. So you got one thing to do from here. Just one thing. Find the subscribe button and click on it. And every time I send out a video, you'll get an update that says Scott Bell Consultant sent out a video. You should check it out, which you should. We'll see you soon. Aloha.